So I'm Dan Lax. I have a Master's of Science in Environmental Health Science from UC Berkeley and undergraduate degree in neuroscience and English literature from UC Berkeley. I have a lot of research experience in different fields in endocrinology and child psychology, neuroscience, and cancer biology. I decided to look at what would be the effects of chronic mercury exposure on the human population. What this study found was that chronic mercury exposure was rising over the years 1999 to 2006 within the U.S. population. And this rise went from 3% of the U.S. population to almost 30% of the U.S. population having detectable amounts of inorganic mercury in their blood. So it's a tenfold increase in the proportion of the human U.S. population that had detectable levels of inorganic mercury. Now, inorganic mercury is a specific form of mercury, which is either made from organic mercury, which gets demethylated to this, or it's also made from elemental mercury, such as you get from dental amalgams, which gets catalyzed to it. And these deposits of inorganic mercury actually get deposited in different tissues of the body and stay there for years. And so, whereas organic mercury leaves the body, has a half-life of around 60 days, these inorganic mercury deposits persist. They're very bioactive, and they, I think, are the best measure at the time of chronic mercury exposure, especially for a population-based study. So not only was there an increase in this chronic mercury exposure, but this chronic mercury exposure was at a level that was sufficient to elicit a biological response in the target organs of mercury toxicity. Mercury in many other toxicological studies has been shown to deposit and affect the liver, the immune system, and the pituitary. So I looked at those three areas, and I looked at biomarkers that indicated function for those three areas, and all three areas were associated with this chronic mercury exposure. So the immune system, the biomarker I chose was white blood cell count, and that was inversely related to chronic mercury exposure, as demonstrated by inorganic mercury detection. So if you have chronic mercury exposure, you're going to have immune function problems, and this has already been shown in vitro and in other toxicological studies. I didn't expect to find it in the U.S. population, in the overall U.S. population. I expected this to be well within normal ranges without any biological effect.